everyone, welcome back. My name is Jean. Today I have a viewer request. I believe this was from Linda. She was asking to see how I do inside of cards. She says, you see the outsides all the time, but I never see what people do inside. So as you guys know, when I make cards, I usually do not do the inside. I leave the inside plain until I know who I'm giving it to, because it makes a difference what I'm going to do inside. That's why you don't see me do insides very often. But what I did today is I made up a whole bunch of samples of different ways that I do my insides. I already made them up because they will take forever. It would be a really long video if we kind of did them all. But I will go through each one, show you what I did, and we'll put it inside. Just grabbed any old card and we'll put it inside to see how it changes the inside. How's that sound? Now, I do have a bunch of viewer requests from people that I'm trying to get through as fast as possible. And if you have any requests, just leave them in any of the videos in the comments below, and I will get to it as soon as possible. All right, guys. I hope everyone had a great Christmas, by the way. First thing I normally do, if it is a gift card, if I'm giving a gift card, excuse me, get that out right, I put a little pocket in here to put in a gift card. So that way the card is not just, flying around inside the card, and, it's right there for them. So that's what the first thing I do. I do nothing special. I just, depending on what size your card, now all my cards are A2 size. My pocket is usually about 4 inches by, I think, 1 3/4-ish about. Just enough to, I don't usually cover the whole card. I just put it in like, just so most of it is down in there. And then that way it's not, we don't care if it says Mother's Day, okay? That way it's not going anywhere on you. So that's what that pocket is for. Okay, let's take that out so we can see. It won't distract us from the other thing. Now, of course, the main thing everybody does is just stamp, right? Let me bring this down a little bit more here. There we go. Is stamp any kind of saying. I just did the same stamp for all of them. I did a birthday stamp and leave it like that. Now, I usually stamp closer to the top, so it leaves me all this room to write. So that's what I do. Sometimes I will also trim the corners, like so with your fancy punches. So you have different punches, like this one's a cloud and a scallop. Then you can just do your corners and you get different corners. So you put that one on there and it's got a different look already. So you go from just like, plain pointy corners to something with a little bit more decoration. And there's lots of different styles. I got quite a bit of the We Are Memory Keeper punches that I have on hand. So just find one that you like, and you can just do basic rounded corners, whatever. Then another thing is, let's go into your punches, okay? Grab your punches. Now, I just grabbed this butterfly one, and all I did was punch the butterflies on the bottom. And did that. Then you get that look, and then you can see the pink through there. You can punch, I'm going to show you, if, because it's going to punch upside down. If you don't mind, I always flip mine over so you can see. I'm trying to make sure I get right about in the middle. Now, if you don't mind your butterflies being upside down, go ahead and punch the tops too. Okay, then you'll have that look. So let's see how that changes it again. So you go from, keep this video, guys, somewhere saved. So if you need inspiration on different inserts and stuff like that, you can just refer back to this video and that'll help. Now also, keep all your little punches that, from that. You can always add them onto the front of your card or somewhere else. But you can also use those for confetti or inside your shaker cards or anything. So you can do that. Okay, so our next punch, we have a different type punch. I got 2 cards stuck here together, and that won't look pretty. So I have these, which are corner punches. Now this one, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a snowflake or a flower or whatever, but it can be used as either one. I like. Did the corners on those. See how pretty that is? And then put that down. So you can get like regular corner punches too on the market. Now, don't ask for where I got these. These are just from my stash. So just go into your stash, guys, and look at your different punches, okay? I mean, it's not something, you know, your punches are something you keep forever and ever. You're not going to, you know, usually buy them, get rid of them. You know, you're going to kind of keep them forever and ever. So that's why we call it our stash. So we can get those out of the way. So the different look again. Let me bring you up just a little bit more, I think, so you can get a better look. And then you have punches that are your edge punches. So you got ones that do the edging. And for those, let me grab. On this one I did along the sides. So I did both sides. So it will look like that. Oh, do that side. I stamped them. I stamped them all so you can see on there. So see how that really changes going from just this, which is fine. And I usually like to do, if I don't put an insert in, a white insert, you just can leave it like this. And if I'm just going to do stamping and writing, I don't really worry about putting an insert. But if I'm going to be doing punches and other things I'm going to show you, I'll put an insert in. So you go from that to that. And it only takes seconds to punch. If you've never used one of these punches, you can start different ways. Sometimes I start right, there's a little notch here. Whoops. You can start. Some people like to start right in the middle. Some people like to start right there. You know, it just varies on what I like to do. And you just punch. I'm going to try to do this without setting it down. I have to set it down. So you just go all the way along. So then you match up your little bows and you would do your next punch. And you just go all the way down and around. Okay? So easy to use. And if you don't want to go all the way down the sides, I just did along the top. Just do along the top. And that's pretty, isn't it? It makes a big difference. Okay, so let's go into, you don't have punches, okay? A lot of people don't have punches. I'm saying okay a lot. I know. I know. I try not to, but you know, my daughter always, when she edits, she always says, "You say okay a lot." Well, I'm sorry, but that's how I am. Okay, I just did one. Just go into your die stash. Okay, find some dies that'll work. I don't use a lot of dies. I don't have a lot of stamps because I don't do a lot of dies. And I try to tend to get dies that I can use again. These left this effect, so it just leaves the 3 flowers. So I just die cut my 4 corners, and you have yet another look. So if you don't have punches, go in and look for your different dies in your stash. I'm sure you have a few. Like I have simple heart ones. I know I had a butterfly one, just a plain butterfly one. Now some dies won't work because it's not going to leave the shape properly. So just test on a scrap piece of paper. But there's a whole nother look by using your dies. I only have the one die, so I only did one die. Okay, so we have just plain old stamping. We have doing your corners. We have punches, and we have dies so far. So we have all that so far. What next we have? Why, we're going to go into inking, and I will do a couple ink samples. Here, I just did the inking around the edges. You can see, it'll show up better when I put it on the card. You'll be able to see the pink better. And just a subtle, the light is a little bright, but it just adds a little something to your card. So that is simple to do. I will do a couple ink samples for you. Here I took 3 different colors and did light to dark and put that so you can ink, and that takes seconds to do. It just takes seconds to go ahead and ink. So let's grab a scrap piece of paper, and I will show you. Let's just use the darker pink so we can see better on our screen. And I got a scrap over here. So for just to go around the edges, so I just dab it in there. And then I just start off the page a little bit and I just go around the edge. Simple as that. And then you can do it as much as you want. And my stuff is shaking on my desk, so I'm hoping it, you know. So you can just go as much as you want around it. That was me. I did my blending very bad on that side, but you can see this side is better. You want to go more, you know, darker, a little darker, or go farther in, just do that. You can take it and just do the whole page if you want a real light. I think there's something wrong with my pad. Looks like it's got a little cut in it there. Okay, so then you have something like that. So I just get a light color, light background. So you can do that. And for the variegated, all I did was start with one color and then overlap each color a little bit, so it blends in smoothly. So take whatever 3 colors you want and do that. Okay, let me move some of this. Okay, so that's inking. I don't do nothing fancy. There's other things you can do, but that just adds a little something to your card. Okay, so next thing you can do is, how about tearing your paper? So I take a piece of paper that's as long, I'm burying all my rulers over on the side here. So I usually take a piece that's as long as my card, which in this case is 5 1/4. And then it usually starts with 2 inches. Then all I'm going to do is about halfway, because I can get 2 pieces out of here if I want. And I just tear a little bit, you know, and just, I kind of go like little weaves, you know, just go around like that. However you want, just tear it towards you. Nothing fancy. Okay, nothing fancy. And then all I did was glue it down on the side like that. So you have that look. This one I did like a opposite color to go with it, or you can just do the tone on tone kind of color. So I did the pink on that one. So you can do that. You want to bring it up a little level. Let me see how this will look. I know I might not have the right color ink out here, but let's just do the, you know, you can also ink your edges for another fun little look. You know, you do you. You do whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong. There is no right or wrong of doing things. Okay, let's put it on here just to show. So then you have a little more color onto your paper. So you have that look. Get that out of my way again. So you have paper tearing. Yeah, and you can do it top, bottom, however you want. You can just add it. And that's a simple, quick, easy thing to do. All those looks. Okay, next thing you can do, let me see, let's go into the stamping. Okay, all I did was I found this one in my stash. It's really cute, kind of a corner one. If you don't have a corner one, you can use like a rounded one and just put it towards the corner. So all I did was stamp it and put it on each corner, stamp it and put it on that corner. Now, I left it black and white. You could color that in too if you want, if you have the time and you want to add more color, or you can just take colored ink. Now, isn't that pretty? I mean, just by changing your ink color, most of the time, if I'm just putting sayings and stuff, I will just use black. But if I'm doing something like that, I will do, now I did the pink ink on this. Let's put that in your card and we'll show you the difference. And then see how that look is? Such a different look. And it only took seconds to do that because I did not do no coloring or nothing. Only took me seconds to add that stamping. You could mass produce a bunch of birthday cards, or you could use that as a get well card or whatever. You can mass produce a bunch of them. You can also just do this and don't put your saying in the middle. And then when you decide, like sometimes even I'll make the card like this, but I don't put a saying on my front. So like this one I did lace. And I would just leave the this blank, or make up some birthday ones and mothers and get well and stuff like that. And then when I decide what I want to give it out for, I'll put that in the middle, and then I will do the inside. Just depends on how far you want to go. So you could just mass produce, make a bunch of, like this lace one took seconds. This isn't one of my videos. I embossed with embossing folder the white, threw a piece of lace down, and then did this on my Cricut. So you can make a bunch of these up for whatever occasion you want, and just leave them, like put all the cards in a bag with all the pieces, and then you can make up your inserts and then decide what you want to do if it's a birthday. But I like the pink. I think that really changed. And you can still color the pink side if you want, but I think it's beautiful just like that. Who needs more? Okay. So there we have stamping. Go through your stamps, see what you can find, and stamp anything on. In the corners, you can stamp like around your edges, like the whole edges, you know. You can just stamp a picture down here. You don't have to stamp like I did. You can just put one picture. And then, of course, here I put it in the middle because it would have looked kind of off balance. So that's how I did that. So you can do just all black, which is pretty too. Okay, so there is another look. How about ribbons and washi tape? You can take ribbon. Now here I took the ribbon, just some regular, I don't know, satin ribbon, whatever, and I just wrapped the corners. That was all. You don't need very much ribbon at all. Just wrap your corners, glue it on the back, and you are done. And then put that on your card. And you got that look. You could take your ribbon and, like that paper, you can just run it down the side if you want. Get up here a little bit. Okay, got the camera back. I don't know what's going on. All right, so you can take your ribbon, run it just down the side if you want. I'd use a little wider ribbon for if I did that. Or you can take your ribbon and run it top and bottom, kind of frame it in. You can do what you want with your ribbon. Most of the time, I like just doing the little corners. That adds a little something. And you can use whatever color. I'm just kind of staying with the same color scheme just to kind of show you the different looks if you stick with, like, you know, the same color schemes and everything. So, but you can do it any way you want. Okay, so then I have some washi tape here. Let's see, which one did I use? This one, I think. So this one has different size washi tapes in. And here I took, nope, that's not the right one either. This one here. Okay. Here I just took some washi tape and went along the top and the bottom. Simple washi tape. And look at the look. Now this has a very faint light pink background on this washi tape with the purple flowers. But isn't that pretty too? I mean, you don't have to be fancy inside your cards. Like I said, you can just put this in your card. But if you want to bring it up a level, you got that right there. That's washi tape. I also had, and if I can find it, I had this washi tape on hand, which looks like a lace. If I can find it, I will link it for you guys. It was, I think, AliExpress. But look at how it looks like ribbon, but it's washi tape. So that's a whole different look too on that one. So go through your washi tapes, go through your ribbons, see what you can find. Okay, now, how about embossing folders? I talked about embossing folders. So I just pulled out three different embossing folders I did. Okay. Here, we'll start with the simple, this one here. Bubbles. It's just like little bubbles. And all I did, now you want to stamp your saying on first whenever you're using embossing folders, because otherwise it won't work properly. If you try to emboss over the bumps, it's not going to work. So emboss first and then send it through. And look at that look you get. Nothing special there. So a whole different look there. Okay, so you can also take, let's put that there, which I did do on my next sample, but I'll show it to you live here. I'm going to do the dark pink so it shows up for you guys. And then what I do is just put some ink on, and then lightly, you don't want to push down, you want to go lightly over the top. And then you can just kind of go, if you can do the whole thing, or you can just go in sections and put some on like that. Whoops, I turned my page. So you can do something like that. See, a whole different look. Just remember, a light hand. You can do the whole thing if you want. I got one that I did whole thing. Okay, so there is another look. How many we got? I don't know. Then I had this in my stash again. Some of these are 10, 15 years old. This one has a frame. What I did with this one is I go ahead and did that. Then I used this to line it back up and then put it on my little stamp positioner. And then I stamped in the middle of that one. And then I took my pad and went lightly over the top. And you can sit there and keep going if you want. You can make this as dark as you want. Like, if you want it darker. So I'll do this one really dark up here. So you can make it darker depending on how you want. You can do it lighter. So that's a way to use those embossing folders. It's such a cute look. And most of these take you just seconds to do. But look at all these different looks. And my last one is, so I have this one that says happy birthday. I've used this before in my videos also. So it says happy birthday. It's got all over the place. It has happy birthday. Move some of this and it looks like this. So here's an easy trick for that. So what I do is take a coordinating paper or whatever color, and then I just emboss whatever words I want out of here, and then I cut it out. So here I cut that out, and we are just going to put it over there just to give some color. So let me and I have done this in some of my card videos also. Let me just quick throw some glue on. And then we're just going to put that right over the same spot. Try to go straight. Get my glue bottle out of my way. I'm getting too much on my table here. And now you have something like this. And then I would sign on this side. Or you can just take this and put this on the front of your card. So different way to use your embossing folders. There's 3 different ways to use embossing folders. So go through your embossing folder stash and see what you have. Okay, what's my last thing is got to be the easiest thing to do is get out your bling and spill it all over the place. Can you do that? Yes, we can do that. Okay, so I just took these half pearls I have in my stash, and all I did was put 3 in each corner, and you have that look. And then I had these little flower ones in my stash, and I put them like in a triangle around this stamped saying. That's like, how easy is that? Go through your stash and see what you have. Let's move this out of my way. So again, we have simple. Let's bring this out here, and then I can lay them out. So we got a pocket. We have our bling. Changes everything up. We have 3 different ways to use embossing folders. So we have embossing folders you can put in the middle. We have washi tape and ribbons. Washi tape and ribbons. So we have that. We have, of course, just tearing paper. We have that. Let's put the purple side, might show better. We have our stamped image. Get out your stamps. Beautiful. And we have our couple different ways to ink things. You can go ahead and ink your paper. And then we have our dies. Go ahead and die cut. I don't know how many we got there. It's 10 something, 11. And then we have our punches. So you got different uses for your punches. I really like my bowl one. I use that one a lot for birthdays. So you have all the different looks in your punches. And then you just have your basic, where you just do your corners. Punch your corners to give you a little something. Or, like I said, you could just leave it just like that. So, Linda, I hope that gives you a lot of ideas for card inserts and stuff. Save this video, like I said, somewhere in your YouTube. Save it so you have it to go back and look over. And from now on, when I do cards, I will try to at least do one card live with a different inside for you guys. So you guys can see the insides too once in a while. But like I said, I like to leave them plain until I give them out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Linda, I hope you got some ideas here. And if you guys have any requests ever, go ahead and leave them in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Thanks, guys.